All right, so today we're gonna go over opening the well after you have gone through the centering of your clay. The next step is gonna be to open up the well. So here I have my centered ball of clay. It is spinning. To start the well, I'm just gonna place my hands on the side and then keep my thumbs at the middle. Find the center and push down just to make like a little well. After that, I'm just gonna pour some water in there so that it stays slippery as I keep pushing down. So now I'm just pushing down. Now you might be wondering, how much should you push? So let me go grab a needle tool. Because you can't be obviously pushing down all the way to the bottom. So let's say I feel like I'm getting close to the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I'm gonna take a needle tool. The needle, I'm gonna poke, hold my index finger at the bottom there and pull the needle together with the index finger. That's gonna show me how thick the bottom is. So you can see there, it's like maybe 3/4 of an inch. Actually, I could go a little bit deeper, so I'm gonna go ahead and push down a little bit more. I want it to be about 1/2 an inch, so push down a little bit more. I'm gonna check. All right, so that's about 1/2 an inch. That works for me. Okay, so the first thing I did was just make the well with my thumbs. All I was doing is pushing down, keeping my thumbs center. Now that I've made the well, I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna open it up to the width that I would like my cylinder to be. So to open the well, it's as if I'm centering. I'm gonna have my left hand on the side as if I was centering, you know, when I'm pushing on the clay to center. And then my right hand's gonna be on the inside, also kind of like grabbing on to my left. I'm gonna, my middle finger is gonna be right at the bottom there. And what I'm gonna do is drag across. What I'm doing is I'm pulling towards my, you know, like the heel of my hand. Make sure things are slippery. So I'm just as if I was centering, and then with my right hand I'm pressing against the heel of my left hand to open up the well. Seeing that has opened it up, I kept my middle finger at the bottom there, so it just opens it straight out. Now the inside is not perfectly flat yet, so what I would do is take a sponge, and with the sponge I'm gonna flatten down the bottom. I could also use my thumb, and with my thumb I would make the bottom nice and flat. Because I want a flat bottom. The other thing I would do is make that little edge on the inside, so that goes from the floor to the wall. I want it to be more like a corner. I don't want it to be a bowl shape. So with that, I'm just gonna take my fingernail and drag it at the edge there, and that's gonna give me the edge I want. And again, I'll just go over with the sponge, make the bottom flat, and then again I could check the thickness of the bottom there. Needle, hold index finger, pull it, and then this shows the thickness at the bottom. After you poke it, then you can just go over with the sponge to close that little hole. And there's the opening of the cylinder. So again, just to recap, my left hand was on the side as if I was centering. My right hand was holding on to my left hand, and my middle finger was at the inside, and that's just dragged across towards the heel of my hand, pushing towards the heel to open up the well. Now that it has been opened, you know, again, I opened it up to the width I want my cylinder to be. I don't want it to be too narrow. As far as how open is this, you know, you want to be able to fit your hand on the inside eventually when you start making the pulls. So I opened it up as wide as I could fit my hand into. Again, just with the sponge making the bottom flat. And then that is ready for me to start doing the pulls. So that's making the well and opening it up to the width that you need it to be for your cylinder. Alright, so here's another view so you can kind of see more of sort of when it's in front of you, more from my perspective. So here again I have my centered ball of clay. Add a little bit of water, and just my thumbs are going to be at the center. I'm going to push down just to make a small well, and then after that I'm going to fill it up with water. And now I'm just pushing down, keeping my thumbs right at the center. At some point I'm going to stop and check how thick my bottom is. So I'm going to stop, get a needle tool, poke, hold at the bottom, pull it out, and then it shows you the thickness there. I want about 1/2 inch of thickness. Alright, so now that I have done that, again, I'm going to open it up. So again, it's as if I was centering, my left hand's on the side, pushing with the heel of my hand. Right hand's on the inside, and holding on to my left hand, and I'm dragging towards my heel to open up the well. So keeping my hand on the inside, I'm just dragging across towards my heel, and I'm opening this up wide enough so I could be able to fit my hand in there when I start to pull. And keeping things centered, so I'm just pushing towards my heel. Right, so now you see how the inside, you know, it's not perfectly flat. I would go over with my sponge to flatten out the bottom there. I'd also take my thumb, and with my thumb I could also make it flat. I like to always start with the flat bottom. And sponge, using the sponge to flatten out the bottom. The other thing I like to do is I like to make that inside edge with my fingernail. So see that little edge right there? So it goes from the bottom to the wall. You want to create a nice L shape. You don't want a bowl shape. So there's my opened up well, and then from here I can start doing my pulls. And I can stop and check how thick the bottom is. Stop, poke with the needle, hold your index finger as you pull the needle out, and that's gonna show you how thick your bottom is, which again you want about 1/2 inch. And then that little hole that you poked, you could just close it up with the sponge. So again, to open, left hand on the side as if I was centering, my right hand is on the inside holding onto my left hand. I drag across from the center, I drag it towards my heel, and I open it up as wide so that eventually when I start my pulling, I want to be able to fit my hand in there. And that's how you open up your well. Give it a try, and keep practicing.